She had told herself to let go more times than she could count. She had journaled about it, talked to friends about it, read the books that told her how. And still, 3 years later, she would be in the middle of an ordinary afternoon and it would arrive without warning. The thought, the memory, the version of herself she had been in that relationship. And she would feel the familiar tightening in her chest and think, why can I still not let this go? She assumed the answer was weakness, that other people were stronger, that she was somehow failing at something everyone else had figured out. She was wrong, but she was not wrong in the way she thought. The Buddha identified something 2,000 years ago that most modern psychology is still working to catch up with. He called it Upadana. It is usually translated as clinging or attachment, but that translation misses something important. Upadana is not just holding on. It is a specific kind of holding, the holding that happens when something becomes part of how you understand yourself. When releasing it would mean releasing a piece of who you are. There are 4 forms. The first is clinging to pleasure, wanting the feeling back, not the thing itself. The second is clinging to views, holding on to the story you built around the experience because the story is how the experience still makes sense. The third is clinging to rites and rituals, the behaviors and patterns that kept you connected, the ones you still perform out of habit even though the reason is gone. And the fourth, the one almost no one talks about, is clinging to the sense of self that was formed inside that experience. Not the person, not even the relationship, the version of you that only existed in relation to it. Notice something right now. Think of the thing you cannot let go. Is it the thing itself you are holding, or is it the person you were when you had it? Most people, when they sit with this question honestly, discover it is the second. They are not clinging to what was lost. They are clinging to who they were before the loss changed them. Thich Nhat Hanh wrote something that most people read too quickly to let land. He said, "The present moment is the only moment available to us, and it is the door to all moments." He did not mean this as a comfort. He meant it as a diagnosis. The person who cannot let go is not living in the past. They are living in the doorway, 1 foot in what was, 1 foot in what is, and the doorway is the most exhausting place in the world to stand, because it requires you to hold 2 incompatible things at once. The self that existed then, and the self that is being asked to exist now. He taught that the path through is not forgetting, not replacing, not moving on, that phrase that people offer like it costs them nothing to say. The path through is looking, fully and without flinching, at exactly what form of Upadana you are carrying, not to judge it, not to force it open, but to finally clearly see it, because the thing you can see clearly you can begin to hold differently, not release all at once, not in a single moment of decision, but differently, with more space between your hands and the thing they are holding. And that space, however small, is where something new becomes possible. The Buddha called the mind that clings not a weak mind. He called it an untaught mind, one that has never been shown what it is actually holding or why. She was not weak. She had simply never been given the right question. Not how do I let go, but what exactly am I holding? And why does releasing it feel like losing myself? When she finally asked those questions and sat with them without rushing toward an answer, something shifted. Not healed, not resolved, but different. the tightening in her chest when the thought arrived. It was still there, but she was no longer fighting it. She was looking at it. And looking at something is not the same as being trapped by it. Here is what I want to leave with you today. Not a method, not a technique, just a different question to carry. Not, why am I still holding this? But, which of the 4 forms of Upadana am I actually holding? Is it the feeling, the story, the habit, or the version of yourself that only existed inside it? You do not have to answer today. Just let the question sit where the tightening usually lives. Share this with someone who has been told to just let go. You probably already know who that person is. I will see you in the next moment of stillness.